Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for another weekly card video. I'm starting with a A2 card base, and it's a pink color, and it's a top folding card. We're going to start with a dark chocolate brown, and I'm going to go ahead and place that on the top of my card base. Okay, and then along the bottom I'm going to place this striped patterned paper. There's a little bit of a gap here. I must have cut it too short. So I'm going to have to fix that at some point here. See how I can do that. In the meantime, I'm just going to carry on. So we've got our card base ready, and what I'm going to do next is place my stamping. It's going to go on a sheet of grocery bag paper. I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape along this just to give it, keep it a little flatter. And I'm hoping the washi tape is not going to rip the paper when I pull it off. I'm hoping it's not quite sticky enough for that. So next I'm going to get my stamps. I've got two of them I'm going to use. I'm going to start with the top first. This is going to be a Studio Calico stamp set. This is one in one of their recent kits. I don't know which month it was, but it has houses on it. We're going to use the Cheers stamp. First, and I'm going to use white embossing powder. This is Simon Says Stamp Detailed Embossing Powder. And I'm going to use my Versamark ink pad. Ink it up really good. Okay, and before I move on to the embossing powder, I'm going to stamp this decorative line underneath there, and then we'll move on. Okay, go ahead and do the embossing. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and heat up my tool for a minute before I put it over the paper so that it doesn't burn the paper or the tape that I have. Okay, and then I'm going to put the paper tray ink stamp underneath that. It says, "May your birthday be a joyful celebration of all that you are and all that you dream to be." And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this underneath the Cheers. Again, using the Versamark ink. Okay, and we're going to emboss that. It looks like I got some excess ink on the side here, so I need to try to fix that before we continue on. I think that's as good as I'm going to get. It might be a little smudgy on the right hand side here. Well, it's readable. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'm going to carefully peel up the washi tape. Okay. And before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and try doing some stitching up above here, and I'm going to use my paper piercer stitching tool here. You know, I didn't read the directions on this, but it seems like it works better if I go forward. Okay, there's holes in there. That's going to be hard to get through, I think. I'm going to find my needle and work on threading this. Okay, I actually went in and I made the holes larger using a toothpick. And I don't have a sewing needle, so I want to show you what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm using this pink thread. And what I did is cut this wire down. I have some colored wire that I never use anymore, but I do use it for this when I don't have a needle on hand. You just take the top inch or so of the thread and fold it over the wire. You fold the wire in half and then you twist the ends together. So basically I have a little needle, and I'm going to show you a little bit of this process as I go through. Alright, I'm going to keep going through this process and then I'll be back. Okay, I finished this part, and this piece measures 2 1/4 inches, so I cut a slit in here at 1 1/8 inch, and I'm going to cut this into a banner strip. And then I'm going to adhere it to my card front. So I've cut out several different circles and I'm going to ink up the edges of them just to give it some dimension. So we'll start with the red and I'm going to use fired brick. And then I'll use picked raspberry. Peacock feathers for the blue. And lastly, the green, I will use mowed lawn. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and assemble the card. I'm going to place them first to see if I'm happy with the way they are laid out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with that. I'm missing the little blue dot that I had, so if I come across that I may place that down here, or if I can create a new one I'll do that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and place these down. I'm using my matte multi-medium again. This card is a great way to use up scrap paper. And that is the finished card. Again, I may look to see if I can find that blue dot and put it down here, but otherwise, this is the finished card. See you next week.